remember the start of COVID really well. Markets for seafood shut down overnight.
There was all these things in the news about a virus, another virus. Is it a flu? What is it? What's going on? Is this the bubonic plague?
That uncertainty was a huge part of everybody's life. Am I going to get COVID and die?
We have hungry people, and we have people that want to go catch food. And we wanted to figure out a way to put that together that made sense.
Their program was to take seafood that our fishermen were already catching and turn it into chowders and stews. And the first product we identified was haddock, a haddock chowder.
That was such an important role that Fishermen's Alliance played, just being able to provide locally sourced seafood products.
And I'm just checking to make sure we got the right product in here,
Yeah, that's nice.
Is it?
Yeah, this is the stuff.
Put one in your hand.
I wish I could take some home with you.
Chowder, I like that.
Yeah,
Especially when it's hot.
you bet.
When COVID hit and we started sitting down really in earnest to figure out solutions, I remember sitting down with you, with John Papalardo, other folks here on the Cape, and beginning to put the pieces together. And at the core of it was work that the Cape Cod Commercial Fishermen's Alliance had already started doing. And so there was a track record of doing food distributions that connected commercial fishermen with people that are hungry. We were in a great position with the Builders Initiative, which is a philanthropic arm for Lucas Walton. This initiative was funded by Lucas with the strong support of his staff and his team.
When you look back on it, it happened so fast. It turned from an idea in March or April of 2020 to when did we start producing? July?
June.
June 2020.
How did we turn it around that fast? I still don't understand that.
3 months
What?
to build a product and get it on the shelf.
Yeah.
I don't think a corporation can do that.
No way.
So Small Boats, Big Taste is a play on a tagline that one of our previous staff members developed, which was Small Boats, Big Ideas, which is sort of what we were known for in the region. We're the smallest harvesters in the fleet. And so it was kind of obvious, like Small Boats, Big Ideas, Small Boats, Big Taste.
We started to pivot toward the idea of making something that we could deliver whole to people who were facing food insecurity, food banks, food pantries, places like that.
Yep.
Why did you come at me with the idea of a haddock chowder?
Haddock chowder is something that, first of all, who doesn't like chowder? Even if you're lactose intolerant, you're going to probably take your pills just to eat some chowder,
And it was exciting getting into that. Utilized some of my fresh caught haddock. We got a little bit more money for it. They were not undersized, but they were small size haddock, so there wasn't a big market for that size.
Well, I remember people call them snapper.
Yeah.
Snapper haddock.
Yeah,
they're legal, but they're smaller.
Well, they lowered the size limit to 16 inches because there were so many of these small. Normally it would be 19 inches. And by lowering it, we were able to keep more of the fish we were catching, and there was a market demand for it.
As fishermen faced so much uncertainty because of COVID, so did the entire fishing industry. We knew that if we could create a product that used local seafood to support people on land, create work to hold jobs and families together, that would multiply our impact and expand our reach. Great Eastern Seafood in Boston became our next partner, and a great one. Located on historic Black Fan Pier, hard against Boston Harbor and the seaport, Great Eastern is family-owned. Robbie Brandano, with his father before him, and now his son, too. Fish from around the world come here, and after processing, leaves here. That includes local haddock for Small Boats, Big Taste. Great Eastern fillets, boxes, and ships, creating the crucial ingredient for what comes next, making chowder.
How do you survive? You know, how do you survive? And then, you know, you come in with your project and, you know, aside from it being so timely, you know, and helping people out, and in a time like this, I guess the best feeling is to be able to help other people. And so working on this project was a fortunate thing for us. You know, it kept us doing what we knew how to do. And, you know, it's been a point of pride here.
The product had to look a certain way, it had to transport a certain way, and it had to be usable in a certain way. And increasingly more and more people were finding themselves without full kitchens or the ability to acquire the fresh produces and put together a really complete meal. So that's one of the neat things about stews and chowders is you can fill them with the right ingredients, right, and produce that complete meal. And so that was part of it. The other part was, how do we package this? And so it comes in, depending upon how hungry you are, 2 to 3 serving containers, and can be very easily heated up in a microwave or put into a pot on a hot plate of boiling water, and it's a complete meal ready to go.
It's basically a milk or cream, potatoes, onions, haddock, salt and pepper, you know, fish stock, and that's basically it.
But it's a great soup. And to be able to put that in an environment that's going to introduce young people to this, I mean, I think it's going to help the food system down the road. You know, today that's 9,000 pounds of chowder. And, you know, we do this, you know, 4 or 5 times a month. So that's 45, you know, it's could be 350 to 500,000 pounds of soup on an annual basis. Giving people that have a need, you know, for nourishment with something like that, I think it's something that, you know, they will remember in their lifetime.
When your food shows up, it doesn't stay anywhere.
Right.
It is gone, you know, which is very good for us.
Yeah, the day before she comes or 2 days before, you'll have a sense of who she could potentially go out.
I create multiple POs. So the ones that are going to the main food bank, they will pick up. The Greater Boston Food Bank will pick up with their own truck. They'll drive down to Lineage in Raynham, pick it up from there. But the other ones, Food Bank Western Mass, Worcester County, and Merrimack Valley, I ship directly from Plenus. So those orders have to be absolutely exact. So I'm creating multiple POs to go.
To me, it's just a wonderful story of win-win. When I have resources, and I say this a lot to farmers and to growers and to folks in your industry, is we need sources. We need to purchase food, and in particular, your product has a nutrient value and has a likability in terms of the public. Not everybody has a kitchen the way we might think about it, and it's one of the things when we ask these questions all the time. So people do scratch cooking, some cold cooking, some only have a hot plate, some only have a microwave. And so when you can create a product that has the ability to be utilized in a variety of families, then you've created greater versatility. And then when you back it up further, it's not just feeding here, it's helping us secure a product, and then you go back further, it's helping businesses secure a livelihood. What a win and a win. You know, it's one of the things we really do appreciate about the Massachusetts Food Assistance Program, where the state gives us financial resources to purchase products from Massachusetts growers and vendors, and this is a perfect example. And I would say what it also did for us was bring us more closer to the fishing industry. let's manufacture a couple of pallets, see what goes. Boom, excited. All right, now we can, how about 10 pallets? How about 12 pallets? How about a trailer load? How about another product? I know it's over 1 million meals. I know it's about 1.4 million that we've invested in purchasing. So it makes us, I think, a reasonable vendor to be able to work with you and to be creative with you. But if you circle back, the money starts here to sustain the industries on the Cape and to sustain, in particular, folks who actually use the sea as their livelihood and protect it.
When independent small boat fishermen leave the port and steam into sunrise, they're going to work to kick ass, like Greg Connors and his crew. Whether they would say so or not, they embody an ancient, noble calling, and they feed many, many people. The work is hard, repetitive, sometimes brutal, in this case, focused on a flat fish called skate. They use gill nets, catching the fish by the gills, harvesting the so-called wings. These skates may wind up on a fancy plate in Paris, or in our Provençal fish stew. Either way, their work does more than feed us. It keeps us connected to our history and our relationship to the sea.
You guys get the shot? Yeah.
Hey, we're gonna make you guys famous. Yeah, buddy! We're gonna make you famous. That's right, Bubba. That's right, Bubba. Woo! Nice big one. Keep on. Big one. Keep going. Keep going.
The thing with skate was Americans don't eat skate. They don't have any familiarity with it, but it's a delicacy in Europe. And I'll admit I was a little skeptical that we could create a product that people in the United States would eat, but we centered on this skate provincial stew, which is really tasty. It's zippy, it's spicy, it's got lots of good vegetables in it, and again, of course, the protein comes from the skate, and it's very popular.
So Fish for Families was started, I don't know, probably 12 to 14 years ago. And it was designed to support the fishing community, as well as to provide dense protein for families that were in need. So we would go to the Alliance and say, okay, what type of product? And we did that for years. We oftentimes had fishermen come in and meet families and explain how the fish was caught. We always provided recipes. And then that grew into the current program, which is the haddock chowder and the fish stew. We probably use, depending on the time of the year, 15 to 20 cases a week. I mean, we're going to serve 15,000 people. Yeah, it's perfect. Yeah, we support the local fishing community. We get a great product for our families. It's well liked. There's not much, you don't have to explain too much about haddock chowder. It comes in, it goes out, and it works.
2 tabs here. I've got one for production, one for the orders that come in from the Greater Boston Food Bank. For the Greater Boston Food Bank in December, the main warehouse, they're looking for 1,040 cases of haddock chowder, 390 cases of fish stew, and 520 cases of clam chowder.
The same Chatham Fish and Lobsters and bringing it to the warehouse.
So when these orders come in, I basically put together batches for Plenus, calculated out what we need. So anything that's like over and above what we need, I have it sent straight into Lineage. Just try to keep a month or 2 worth in there, so that way if something falls through along the way, the food banks can still get their orders.
Safe travels.
You were one of the first people who, when COVID struck, got permission to start selling straight off the boat.
Yep, instantly we did it. The government, Dan McKeon and the state, they were all wonderful. You never see anything get passed like that. We applied, and within a day or two, they said, have at it. I mean, clamming was the first fishery I ever did commercially. Right out of high school, the summer right out of high school. I charter boated before that, but first commercial was clamming in Wellfleet, and I've always been a pretty good staple of an industry down Cape, and there's a few processors in Chatham, New Bedford, and Gloucester, but there's a little hole here now, and time tells there was clams and not so many scallops, and now we're processing clams. Anything that can help the fishermen a little bit and keep our products around here for people, especially people in need, they will take it, and if there's room for everybody to make a living doing it and provide good, healthy, quality stuff, that's what most of us live for. The whole thing's really been different for me with the Plena Soup Company and having standing POs a month out and just something steady to have a stockpile and can take reserves. As a fisherman, having something stable, it's different for me. It's different. It's good. We gotta have a freezer so we can stockpile. It just makes it's supply and demand. If you can keep that supply and you can build that supply and demand at different steps.
The Planis people say they've never really seen clams like yours.
Yeah.
They're really different than what they're used to dealing with.
We take a lot of pride in it. We have the boats, we have the trucks, we have the plant. There ain't no time or other people that's touching it but our people, We love going from this little boat right here to Lowell and getting it in a cup of soup for the masses to eat it, as quick as possible, as fresh as possible, as cheap as possible. It's the outreach of the Small Boats Big Taste program to get the little soup cups out and about, not only just on Cape, but in Massachusetts as a region, and hopefully abroad more. The soup kitchens, the family pantries, all the places need lots of good protein. So.
Well, I remember we went to the nursing home in the rehabilitation center in Chatham with some of our product, and was very impressed with the flavor to begin with, and then the people that were having it for lunch that day were all very happy to have a really good tasting New England style chowder that we were making with, did we have haddock at that time? We were doing skate later. That was delicious. And it was exciting getting into that. Utilized some of my fresh caught haddock. We got a little bit more money for it. And that's all value added for relatively low priced, high volume fisheries, which is what we have now in our port.
Maybe not.
Your chowder is good.
What's important is we strive to not be parents that do their kids' homework. This is stuff that is, we say it's done by adults with disabilities. They do all the work. We break up every job we have into as many components as possible and include everybody. So everybody has a hand in what we do.
My name is Philip Weber.
Philip.
And I work at the farm at Capabilities.
That's great, Philip. What kind of work do you do to help make these boxes go out to people?
Well, I usually go on deliveries and drop them off, and I help them with putting them out, and they say thank you, and they say you're very welcome.
Having those relationships that you start connecting, talking with you. I believe we spoke way before this opportunity even came about, and hearing what your desire and your heart was to serve the community. And then when this opportunity came about, we were just seeing, thinking of how we can link everything together, all these really important key partners who serve such a great niche in the food system, and being able to use the resources that we have locally to meet that need. We use Capabilities Farm as the procurement center for the county. So they do all of our purchasing on our behalf. It's been a wonderful partnership because they then go and purchase with all of their regional and local farmers and connect with them. We manage the grant. We don't keep any of that money. It goes then out to all of our nonprofit community partners. We are able to work with socially disadvantaged farmers, local and regional farmers, people in the seafood industry like yourself, and be able to pay you a fair market wage for the food that you provide. There's fruits and vegetables. We, of course, have pints of chowder, haddock chowder, fish stew, which everybody loves. We have blueberries and apples, eggplants, lettuce, and just a variety, cucumbers, mushrooms. In our first round of grant funding, we provided over 6,500 boxes of food for the community in the past year. It's just been a wonderful opportunity to be able to support local fishermen, support this, our wonderful seafood economy, and be able to give the opportunity for new people to try new products out there. And they in turn love it. The schools are loving it. Kids are trying seafood in a way that they've never had the opportunity to before.
And so I think, what you started with,
pretty smart,
with the
right?
fish thing
Yeah.
was pretty awesome because I think it really got a lot of things rolling. And then everybody wanted to be part of it. I think that's what's so fantastic. And it's a great product. Fishes.
Thank you, guys.
You're welcome.
What do you think? You like it?
Yeah.
Good.
Great flavor. I like the potatoes.
Yeah, I like that too. And the haddock, it's got such a nice element to it. It's really, the sort of historic fish of Boston, haddock, much more so than codfish.
So, since we have started, we have sold 650,000 pounds of the haddock chowder. With our recent addition of the clam chowder, that was 60,000 pounds. The Provençal fish stew is 71,000 pounds. And then we have some bulk. So we're at 797,000 pounds, 114,000 cases.
That's remarkable.
For you.
It really is. That is remarkable.
So I think the opportunity is what other products might there be? Because we know the chowders work.
The next plank for us is to figure out a way to make the product available to the public to raise money to continue to support the project. Right? It no longer becomes a project. It's no longer a project, it's a program. Right? The distinction is permanence.
It provides a kind of template, or almost like an example, for how creative people can respond to a crisis.
Yeah.
And come together as a community.
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't think you'll find a more creative group of people in an industry than you will in the commercial fishing industry. I'm really amazed as I get older and I look around at the young people that are getting involved and staying involved in it, just how willing they are to sacrifice to make it work. They really love what they do.
We are all committed partners to this effort, and we're not going to go backwards in any way, shape, or form. We're just going to keep moving forward and meeting the food security needs in the region and supporting our local businesses.
Yeah, more people were hungry during COVID, but there's still a ton of people hungry. Like, it didn't go away, and as much as we all want to sort of get on with our lives and forget about COVID, we can't forget the lessons we learned and the opportunities that are in front of us, because there's a lot of other problems that are easily solvable if people want to solve them.
And what is the future?
I'm supposed to be asking you that question. What is the future? I want to see this program sustainable, solidified, and diversify. I guess that's how I put it.